Alrighty. Well, hello everybody. Hello. How you doing? Wonderful evening. Oh boy. Stretch out my leg. I am already tongue-tied. That was fast. How's everybody doing? Hope you're all having a wonderful Monday. Oh, my Monday has been interesting. That is for sure. Probably a couple of you are wondering why I'm streaming at this time, because normally I'm at work at this time. For those of you who have been in the know, hey Vivek, how you doing? Welcome to stream. The reason I am currently here at the mall. Hold on, see if I can get on the Black Templar symbol. There we go. Hiya. We call that a 6. That's a victory. The reason for it is I had to go into work for a morning shift today. It is a one-off, unfortunately, so this I won't be streaming around this time again anytime soon. Hopefully I'll be streaming again soon, but yeah, I got called into work early. My schedule today is all screwed up anyway, so thought I get some work done on the commission from my buddy Caboose for his Rogal Dorn model. Chat with you lovely, amazing human beings while I do it, and yeah, catch up with you guys. Just chat, hang out. As always, it's a paint and bant, so feel free to bring up controversial topics, personal topics, whatever the hell you want. Fuck it. We're here to have fun, paint minis, and talk Warhammer, but also talk general shit. Hello. Hey, Telcree, welcome to stream. Hey, and doing good. Awesome. Love to hear it. Good vibes from Native Rune Song. Awesome. How you doing? Ah, man. Yeah, actually, one quick update about this model. I know it's been a while since I streamed working on it. So I finally got the green stuff I wanted to come in. And I sculpted... Hold on, let me see if I can get this to autofocus enough to look right. Okay, so it's kind of bright, so let me do that. So I was able to get Rogal Dorn's face to look relatively good. Unfortunately, I didn't notice till after I primed it. His beard's a little lopsided. So that cider is fuller, and this side is a little bit more like chopped back. I'm going to say it still looks correct. My idea is, like, in the midst of battle with Alfarius or Omegon, part of his beard got singed. I'm not going to, like, paint it singed, but it still looks pretty good, especially with the profiles. The profiles both look how my buddy Caboose wanted it. So he wanted the mutton chops. He's getting the mutton chops on his Dorn. So other than that, I think it came out pretty good. I was very careful with the sculpt of the green stuff. I did it all with a toothpick. So for what I was doing, and this is only the second time ever I've used green stuff. So I'd like to say I did a pretty good job given that. But of course, the client is the final say in everything. Well, yeah, I'm gonna probably work on his face today. But I also wanted to show you guys a little bit of the base that I've been working on. Hey, Karn, how you doing, you handsome gentleman? Hey, chilling in bed at the moment. What's up? Not much. Working on Caboose's commission a little bit. I gotta see if I can address that. But yeah, working on Caboose's commission. So this is how the base looks at the mo. I think it's coming out pretty good. I'm not sure if there's really anything more I really want to do to the base, except maybe clean up some of the wash areas where it pooled awkwardly. Or in that case, where it pooled and then I scraped it when it was mid-dry. Hate it when that happens. Probably what I'll do is I'm going to dab around the edges here with like a black or something, using a sponge to make it look like, dirtying effect towards the edges. So that's probably what I'll do there. Hey, Gilly Guy, welcome to stream. Did you change your profile pic? It looks a little different. Thought it was going to be the tank. The tank? What you mean? I've got some Night Lords Terminators I got half painted, but I'm putting off that Chaos trim. You're putting off that Chaos? Oh, are you dodging it? I mean, are you avoiding the Chaos trim? Understandable. Chaos trim is a huge pain in the ass. I mean, I can relate. Outside of working on Dorn, I have my own World Eaters I'm working on. And I get around the trim problem by I prime the whole thing in the color of the trim, and then I paint in manually all of the overall armor. I kind of work in reverse logic with CSM than I do standard Marines. Because with standard Marines, as you guys very well know, you typically you prime them, and then you prime over the prime with the core color. So if you're going for like Ultramarines, for example, you would do a prime of black or white or whatever the case, and then after that dries, you then prime it again with a McCrag blue or something similar. Maybe if you want to get like cheeky with it, you'll prime it black and then you'll do like a zenithal. But instead of doing a zenithal with like a gray or with a white, you'll do it at a distance with the McCrag to give it a faded, darker like look like that. For anyone who wants a cheat code to making Ultramarines really fast, I hate them. I never really paint them. But if you want, if like let's say you got a tournament like the day after tomorrow, and you want to bulk paint them like overnight, just prime all of them black, and then individually at a distance hold them, and then spray them with McCrag blue if you have that rattle can of that, and it'll create a fade effect of like the blue to the black, and it'll look actually they'll look grimdark. After that, you only have to paint in like a trim or something to give them like a third color. I'm talking about the new guard tank. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, speaking of guard, I guess that's a topic we could talk about. I'm assuming I'm gonna throw out that topic. Y'all hear what they did to the Imperial Guard? 10th edition's a shit show, man. Oh, good god. 10th edition has been absolutely like terrible, like impressively so. Yeah, I've done pretty good. One thing I might hit on that is I might like hit this kind of like with a highlighted brown, like a little lighter faded brown. I kind of like how it looks over here with the armor on the Iron Warrior. Generally speaking, the base is pretty much done. I mean, it's like little touch-ups here and there, so I might just set this aside for right now. I do obviously need to paint around here the trim. I gotta ask Caboose if he wants a black trim around the base, or if he wants this like a special color or pattern or whatever. Whatever he wants. He is the client, so whatever he wants there. Gonna get that in. Ashamilla, what? Are you in the guard, son? Yes, sir. I'm just an ogre, so I'm rather dumb. Forgive me, sir. Remember, it's not Imperial Guard anymore, it's Ashamilla Tarm. Sure. Here, I read it. Oh, do you mean like the article going over the fact that there's now only 3 regiments? Because for those who haven't kept up with the news, granted I didn't report on it when I first heard about it. I should have, but I've been like busy with a bunch of stuff, you know, physically training for the military, keeping up with my day job because till I go to the military I need money, and trying to finish that Voxwork episode that has been in the editing stage for like a month now. Which, by the way, after this stream tonight, which is why I'm going to try and keep the stream within 2.5 hours-ish, I need to hop off and then spend the rest of my night working on the edits for that. You guys are going to love that episode, and I do kind of want to beg you guys to go watch it when it's uploaded, because it's the best edited thing I think I've ever made. I'm combining like some editing styles between the 3 of us, me, Nico, and Nathan, between our video types. I'm doing a lot of stuff with it. It's not just a podcast episode where it's like static arc in the background like I've done for some episodes. This one is heavily edited, so I would really encourage you guys, when you see that upload notification, hopefully YouTube is not a dick to me, or when you see it, or when you check on the channel and you see it there, watch it. You will be entertained for hours on end. I'm basically making a 2-hour movie of the best edits I think I can do. So yeah, that's why it's taking so long. Like it's a lot of editing. Got the codex. It leaked like 2 weeks ago or so. Yeah. I'm gonna give Dorn his emotional comfort blanket from his grandpappy. I'm afraid I don't have it, but I have his cape. We'll do his cape today, or work on it a little bit today. Yeah, there's the smaller base that'll go in this little slot here. Again, I'm not a fan of how they dimension that in. That's I get it to an extent, but ugh, god, I hate how they did that. Grr. Anyway, so we're gonna set the base over here for right now. We are going to start with working on Dorn's lovely face. That'll be interesting, won't it? Look at that ugly mug. Et voila. Mission. Will this work? Like a white background? That helps a little bit. So I'm going to leave the paper towel right there to help with the lighting of the camera. Alright, so I'm going to set that guy down right there and get my brushes ready here. Because we about to do some surgical work. Wait, do I have my Bugman's glow over here? I think I do. If I don't, I think I can jury-rig a Bugman's glow. No, I have Ushapti bone, though. Yeah, 10th makes my my Admech and Deldar, or what? Deldar feel bullshit and overpowered to play as. GW really cannot balancing factions. No, they don't. And if anything, the FAQs make the game less and less balanced each and every fucking time. It's amazing how consistent they are at being inconsistent. Most our officers have been given decent buffs, though. We can throw orders all around. The removal of generic infantry squads was mostly unnecessary. Most people I know played squads as DK, OK, or Katachan. I'm very much opposed to the removal of the generics because now you're forced to essentially play just the three. You're either Acadian, DK, OK, or Katachan. I think removing the generics was just a really bad move. Because, yeah, there may not... Most guard players primarily play one of those three anyway. But at the same time, most is not all. And in this case, they put effort into hurting part of the community where it didn't hurt the part of the community that just played the big three. So I do think they should have left the generics. But they chose not to. It's GW being GW again. Unfortunately. Alright, I'm going to go grab my Bugman's Glow, because I thought I had it over here. For those who don't know, that's a paint. It's a Citadel paint that's specifically for flesh towns. Normally, I actually don't use it. I just use Andridas, and I mix that with a little bit of red, a little bit of pink. You know, I play around with that. But I do actually want to use it as the base tone for Dorn to highlight off of. So I'm going to go grab that real quick. Un momento, por favor. This is why it's important to keep your paints organized. That way, in moments like these, you can quickly find them. So, Bugman's Glue. Huzzah. Uno. Dos. Benefit Generics had was bringing a heavy weapon. I think this is a... when you say benefits, are we talking game rules or are we talking vibes? Because I do think generics were important in vibes. Because when you're playing as guard and you're trying to like role play or trying to get into like the army that you want to play, and let's say you're a huge fan of Astroyans or Valhalla Winter Soldiers, those generics were the way you could play them. Now the argument GW put out was absolute shit, I think. Like they were like, "Oh, well now if you want to play something other than the three, you still can. But now you have to ask yourself, is this army closest to the..." People don't want to do that. Like when you play Valhallans, you don't want to think of them as anything other than Valhallans. To now suddenly have to equate them to one of the other three, reminding you that you're not playing Valhallans, you're playing something else, I think that does kill off a little bit of the love and association you have with your army. I think that just kind of hurts that. So while, albeit I'm thinking you're talking about just game rule impact, the actual vibe impact that a given player will have is notably negative. So I do feel bad for guard players about that. Alright, so we're going to apply the... I might have picked a big brush for this, but we're starting off with a flesh tone anyway, so it's going to be a bit thicker. Yeah. So, Actually, here's a challenging question I'm going to throw out to the chat. What is something about 10th edition that you guys like? Because I have one thing about 10th I like, but it's literally it, and it actually isn't that big. But I'm curious if there's anything, like, generally y'all like about 10th. And no cheeky answers like, oh, what I like about 10th is it makes me appreciate 9th. Don't ease off on the cheek. That's my job. The new design philosophy. Yeah, I'd agree with that Gilly guy. Yeah, I would. I don't think that's the only thing that's ruined it, but that is a contributing factor. Most certainly. Oh, I missed the corner of his nose there. Can't remember now. There we go. Yeah, you can hit people with a physical copy. There's Karn coming in with the positives. Vehicle toughness, that's it. Okay, that's fair. Rules, Cadians get 2 special weapons per 10. Wait, so you're saying rules and then you're moving on? Are you really saying generically rules? Because there's one thing about 10th I absolutely fucking hate, and it's dev wounds. I absolutely fucking hate dev wounds. Passionately. It's not like the worst thing ever I can think of, but it is something I despise about 10th. Cadians get 2 special weapons per 10 and more officer options. DKOK has healing and Kadchan has scout. I'm more cut up about the removal of Strachan. Okay, fair enough. That's right, they did remove Strachan, didn't they? Alright. So for me, if there is something notable about 10th that I really like, and this is me not remembering if they had the same thing in 9th. So if this was in 9th, I didn't get them in 9th, but it would be the data cards, like the actual physical data cards for factions. I like those a lot because it's a second way to like look through your unit stuff without having like the full-blown codex open in one arm. That being said, I still love having like my codex open in an arm and kind of like consulting it like a Bible while I play. But sometimes you do just want to have like a card on the side where you can just pull it out and be like, all right, what's the stats I need to look at here? And just like have a quick glance. So data cards, I'd like to say, are a nice addition. I did like those. Unfortunately, they became immediately incorrect with the FAQ, so they're now tournament illegal. Well, not illegal, but they aren't the correct stats anymore. But that also happens to the codex, so... keywords works and how weapons profiles now works. That a weapon can both have the pistol and assault keyword rules. 10th was the first edition I've played since I think 5th or 6th. Oh, that explains. Okay. Yeah, 10th has not been good. 9th so far, this is my current opinion about 10th. 10th is the worst edition of 40k we've gotten thus far. Outside of Rogue Trader, which was an experimental prototype, and outside of maybe I can't remember. I never played 5th edition, but I heard from some friends of mine that 5th or 6th edition really struggled. I'm not sure if that's true. That is secondhand information. That being said, 10th edition is, for the editions I've played, which I've played 7th edition. 7th edition, I played a game of 6th edition, but I couldn't remember how I felt about it. 7th edition I played regularly. That was like the first edition I came in on. I played 8th edition, played 9th edition, and now 10th. Out of those, 10th is hands down the worst edition by far. I really hate a lot of the changes and shifts 10th edition has introduced. Generally speaking, I would say overall it is a bad edition. And I don't see it doing what Ninth did, which is Ninth kind of fixed itself by the end. Not perfect. I'd say it was a passable edition by the end. Not I don't think anybody is going to look back on Ninth and say, like, compared to 7th, for example, or 8th, or even, like, 5th or 6th, that Ninth edition, like, stands out in any good way, other than it started out really bad and they eventually fixed it, and then released 10th edition and started that process all over again. And I don't think even if they fix up 10th before they start working on, if they haven't already started working on it, they probably have, 11th edition. Yeah. 4th edition was awesome. I can believe that. Also, welcome, I keep wanting to say welcome. Welcome. Welcome, Matthew Gordon. Alright, man, my freaking inability to speak. Alright, there we go. In 4th, you could customize the crap out of your army. I believe it. Like, that's been a consistent theme with each edition since Rogue Trader. Is steadily, with a lot of editions, we've seen a steady progress of less and less and less and less customization and control of all of your army. I mean, granted, it was pretty consistent. It was pretty consistent between the earlier editions. The downgrade has been in while I'm in. 8th edition, there was a downgrade. They started simplifying systems. 9th edition, you had a lot of the commands and stuff, army stratagems and stuff. A lot of that felt like it was starting to rob factions of certain identities. Certain things about the orcs in particular changed through those editions that I didn't like. Yeah, like certain things that were just faction traits turned into stratagems. You had to spend command points to use. That got annoying. So, yeah. GW is going the opposite way of Yu-Gi-Oh. Oh, yeah, where Yu-Gi-Oh is getting more complicated and to the point that it's near unplayable. GW is getting less complicated to the point that it's a shadow of the choices and options you once had. So that is fair. That is fair. That is very fair. Okay, so hold on. Holding that there. There's a rumor that 10th edition is going to get a 10.5 and last longer. Christ, please no. What I would prefer they do is they just release... they just wrap up 10th and then release 11th and then base 11th on the Horus Heresy. And then never speak about 10th ever again. I pray to Christ that's what happens. I really fucking don't want 10th edition to live longer. 10th edition is a crack baby that's on life support that's brain stopped functioning a while ago. Like, let it go. Let it pass on to the great beyond and let it rest. Move on. Don't try and keep it on life support unnecessarily. Okay. I'm just making sure I got all the areas I want to do before I start doing highlights. To the great meth lab in the sky. 9th tried to import the good elements of older editions and navigate 40k to be better, but 10th just removed those elements. It really did. 9th, and I will emphasize the word tried in that, Telcree. 9th was really bad at the start. Like, I hated 9th when it first came out. And then they, to their credit, to GW, they did try their damnedest to fix things and try and get everything to, like, soulfully work together by the end. So by the end of 9th was actually pretty fun to play, especially in 2K tournaments. I noticed, like, I liked playing bigger point army tournaments by the end of 9th. At the beginning of 10th, I went to a 2K tournament, and I won that tournament. And that was the first tournament I've ever won as well. First tournament I ever won. And quite frankly, I think I won because a lot of people, including myself, were struggling with some of like the dev wounds and that characteristic on weapons. And also, some of the balancing was a little weird. I brought my orcs, and I smashed pretty hard. I got also lucky that tournament. I didn't go up against an Eldar player. There were 2 Eldar players at that tournament, and I didn't have to go up against them. I was like, thank you, God! Fuck Eldar! Do not want to fight them. I did fight a Tau player, and I beat him in melee, which was hilarious. But that was due to really bad fucking rolls. Sorry, I not beat him in melee. Beat him in ranged. That's why it was notable. Beat him in ranged because I rolled extremely well and he rolled extremely bad. So, quite frankly, that particular part of the tournament I won by luck. Gork and Mork were with me, but it was comic luck because I was rolling fucking 6s. It's like 6, 6, 6. I'm gonna fucking die, and then I got in melee range, and then it was over. So make 11th edition like 6.5 edition with more deeps. Yeah, I'd say so. Horse Heresy sucks for opposite reasons. Special rules with paragraphs that reference other special rules and name only GWs is the sick old man of gaming. I mean, hey, I like Horus Heresy, personally. Maybe maybe my experience has been pretty unique with it in terms of it being good. But I've played 4 games, no tournaments. There hasn't been any Horus Heresy tournaments in my area, unfortunately. But I have played. Hold on, let me. Oh no! 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 Don't do that. Sorry, a little. I left a little too much water on the end of my brush, and now it went really watery on one of my paints and nearly bled into another one on my paint palette. Don't do that, please. Don't give me a heart attack. All right, so. I'm just hitting all the raised areas. Ah, crap, it's so watered down. Damn it. Hey, Jenny. 27 minutes, actually a pretty good alert time for YouTube. Ah, yeah, YouTube only just put out a notification. Figures. Me and my dad have recently picked up Old World. It is a lot of information. I haven't tried Old World, so I can't comment about that. I initially heard it was doing really bad, and then people corrected me and said, no, it's actually selling really well, which was weird to me because everything I saw was like, oh, why Old World is not selling very well, or why Old World isn't really appealing to audiences. And then a bunch of people flooded me and were like, actually, it's doing amazing. And I'm like, I'm getting contradictory information from direct people on one end, and then I'm seeing like spiky bits and shit over here say it's doing poorly. So I'm like, what the fuck? Hey, Hunty. Yes, because I just got a notification as well. Ah, okay. Well, welcome to the stream. How you doing? Welcome. I'm just working on Dorn's little face here. be fair, Spiky Bits is not a great. That is true. Spiky Bits is bad at times. It's the one-offs. Spiky Bits is one of those article sites where on an occasion they will nail something, and then every other time they kind of fuck up. I've been here a while just lurking. Naughty, naughty. Why are you lurking, Zealot? This is a Paint and Bant stream. You hit the Bant. Hang out, chat. Enjoy some glorious company with yours truly. And all the wonderful people here. Wait, what's that? Oh, I'm sorry. I just noticed something above my chat. What is it? Start a goal. What? Make super chat more fun with a goal. Wait, what? Set a goal to engage your audience in a new way. New way? Wait, what? Donations are new? Hold on, sorry. There's just random, like, YouTube thing. Set a goal to engage with your audience in a new way. Once you reach your goal, celebrate with your community. Oh, okay. So it's a little thing for setting up donation goals. Okay, I don't care. I guess it's a new way to incentivize super chats, but I don't see how. I mean, I guess it could be a fun thing. It's like, hey guys, let's reach 10 super chats, but maybe I'm too old to like see they stole the hype trains from Twitch. Okay, YouTube is more random than when they block my dark jokes. I guess so. I mean, yeah, so I guess it's just I've never seen that before. It's like right below like live chat versus top chat for me. It's like start a goal, and I'm like, why? Like I don't know. My mindset with super chats and like donations and stuff is like if you guys want to donate, you will donate. Like little stuff like that. At least in my mind, I don't see how it incentivizes it. Like more so than just wanting to support. It feels like a weird gimmick, but I don't see, this is one of those things where normally with gimmicks like this, I can try and see in the logic behind it. With a gimmick like that, I'm not sure how it incentivizes it. You basically just put up a giant thing like, "Hey, I'm DSP. Please donate this many times to me." What happens when you reach the goal? Like, can you give something to your audience? Does YouTube fit the bill? Put an experience bar on the screen, and gamers will try and fill it up. I mean, maybe. No mistakes, just happy accidents. Okay. Throw it up here. I'm gonna get Dorn's chin there. Look at little Dorn. His face is coming together nicely. Alright. So dab of white. Make me happy little Primax. Happy little Primax. Happy paint with happy little trees. I've said this in the past, but I'll say it again. The moment I found out that man used to be a drill sergeant freaked me out. Like, Bob Ross was a drill sergeant. Okay. He went to the school of not yelling at everybody. Okay, so the worst part about this is going to be the eyes. This may come as a surprise. I hate doing eyes. Eyes are a pain in my ass. I don't know if this is a hot take. Before I do the eyes, though, a little bit more of the highlights stuff. think that should look good after I apply the skin wash. I think. Oh. Okay. Set that down. Every Primarch needs a little friend. That's what this poor bastard is for. He's Dorn's little friend. On the base, keeping him company. Dead as a doornail. Bartholomew Ross is the Primarch of one of the Lost Legions. Oh god, that'd be funny. Unironically, way better theory than one of the Lost Primarchs is a female Primarch. Unironically, way better theory. Far more entertaining. So here's a fun little thing that happened at work today for me. I went to a morning. So for those of you who know, I'm a custodian at a school, basically a janitor, with extra work I have to do with the job title, but no extra pay for it. So, oh, that's so much. I'm glad you do. So today I had to go in early though, because there were no kids today at the school because it was a teacher workshop day. Custodians still have to go in and clean up and do some extra stuff we can't do while the kids are there anyway. But for the first 2 hours of my shift, they had me go to a central office for the district, for the school district. I go, and they basically... the reason they all wanted us all to go is because we all had to participate in a seminar. I don't know if I can say that word on YouTube. Fuck it. A suicide prevention seminar kind of thing. I go. The main focus of it was obviously directed at teachers, like, hey, notice this about your students, and if they're depressed, if they're having issues, standard stuff. And for us custodians, it's like, well, we don't really interact with the kids. You know, we the daytime ones do. I don't. I clean up after them. Now, if I find a note, I'll like of a kid left in the garbage can, saying some dark shit, I'll let the teachers know. But outside of that, what am I gonna notice? They leave when I get there. But regardless, I'm listening and stuff, and I thought it was all just going to be focused directly in the specificity of schools and kids, but they ended up going on a tangent about that stuff. Used to work, so it shouldn't be a stigma to talk about it. I agree it shouldn't be a stigma to talk about it, but it's one of those things where it's still like I agree it shouldn't be a stigma, but there is a little bit, unfortunately. And YouTube specifically is like weird about it, because I guess they're afraid if you say the word, it's going to like conjure it to happen. So the sitcoms lied to me about the cool janitor friend. They didn't lie to you. But I'm not that guy. The kids don't hang out while I don't hang out and talk to the kids. I do my job. I leave. And thankfully, and by the time it's like 7 o'clock at night, not even the teachers are there, so I'm just kind of all chilling, Hey, Off Good Gaming, all hail, MAGA! How you doing? Welcome. Where was I? I don't know, I got... Alright, anyway. So during the seminar, I started talking about, like, the generics. So I think I'm gonna get his beard now. Dorn is... Yeah, okay, he does have white hair. Okay, for a second I was doubting myself. I was like, wait, does Dorn have gray or white hair? He has gray hair. So we're gonna start with a base of gray. I know it's already basically grayed out and stuff, but I kind of went over it a little bit anyway, towards the edges there with the skin tone. So actually, should I apply the skin? All right. So to save myself in some aggravation here, I'm going to apply the Reikland flesh tone to the skin before I do this. Un momento, por favor. Alright, there we go. Don't worry, I'll get back to my story in a second here and just carefully applying this. Sometimes when I start doing something like this, my brain shuts off and focuses really carefully on the anal application of what I'm doing. Okay, now we'll... dry a little bit. Trying to correct some pooling before it happens. There you go. All right, set that down. Okay, so phrasing. Wait, what I do? What was my phrasing? 9% of all people talk doing self or prevention just wanted someone to talk to. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. So we got on the topic of suicide rates. So when it got to that point, the rates they were talking about was male and female. That was the first one they showed. And they showed a graph. You know the bar graph where it's like they show one side and then show the other in like two different colors for like different rates at certain sections. That kind of graph. The females was a purple color, males was a bright blue. And the blue in like each of the years, because they showed it from like between the years of 2015 to now, and the blue was routinely like 5 to 6 times higher than the female rates, and they were only getting worse each year. And that didn't surprise me. She even asked the room, she's like, so is anybody surprised by this chart? And I heard a couple of gasps from some like the younger female teachers in the room who were like, but everybody else, all the guys, all the older female teachers, everybody was like, yeah, that tracks. So it's up there. And she then poses the question to the crowd. All right, so why is it men, especially young men, are ending their own lives? So I immediately put my hand up, but so did about 7 other people. So she goes to pretty much everybody but me first. Not that she was actually avoiding me, I don't think. It's just I was in the middle of the room and she was starting on the margins. So the first person she asks is like this older teacher, looks like a granny. And the granny is like, oh, it's because it's because young boys are not taught that they can talk to their parents and they're told they have to man up. And, you know, the presentation lady was like, yeah, and I agree, but I don't agree it as a root cause. So I'm like, okay, that's a mitigating factor. I keep my hand up. Next person, another older lady. She's like, it's because we tell little boys that they can't cry. I'm like, okay, mitigating factor, but not core problem. And I'm waiting for her to either call on me or to call on somebody to bring up what I consider the actual root of the problem. And after going through 5 people who all say basically the same shit, it's the problem is, you know, men are... their answers could be summed up in one of 2 categories. Either men are encouraged not to express themselves and not seek out help or you know, solutions to their problems, so they just feel like a burden to a solution, which again is a part of the problem. I don't consider it the reason year over year it's getting worse. So and the other school of answers, and the reason I put my hand down because I didn't want to turn it into a live debate in the room. The other school of answers was essentially, if I were to summarize them all together, boys are not being encouraged to act like girls. Because they started talking about how, because literally one of the people she called on was one of the counselors at the school in the school district, and the counselor was like, so all the girls are raised to do this, this, and this, and this, and the boys should be encouraged to do the same, but they're just not, and that's why they're offing themselves. I'm like, that's not a solution at all, and nor is that at all a crux of the problem. So I put my hand down, and I actually left the room because I got so pissed. I was like, y'all are delusional. Like, you're either citing mitigating factors and completely ignoring the elephant in the room. So, and I knew if I brought up the elephant in the room, it would turn into a debate, and I would get in trouble. Because I'm not a teacher. So if I bring up something that's going to cause, like, waves, you know, my boss is going to pull me aside and be like, why did you do that? Now I have to clean up your shit show. I didn't want to have to put up with that, so I left the fucking room. Treating this shit infuriates me. I know, right? Treating boys like defective girls is exactly one of the core problems. Thank you. That is one of the core problems. And that leads me to what I wanted to say to her and the whole room. My answer was going to be the problem that is leading to increasing rates of male suicide is that men are being vilified. And they're being told that the solutions are one of two things. Either they're being implied heavily that the solution is that they all disappear. In other words, off themselves. They're basically being told by society to kill themselves without that being the exact phrasing that the worst of the worst feminists use. But they might as well say it with how much they say all men are bastards, all men are this, all men are that, constantly blaming them for every problem and woe in the world. So it's just, it infuriated me that I'm surrounded by all of these teachers who all think the problem is that men aren't encouraged, little boys are not being listen, I was there as I remember when I was in school and with suicidal issues back all the way in the early 2000s, and that was shit they were saying back then was the core problem. And then society was actively trying to address that and encouraging young men to seek help, go to guidance counselors. And what do you know? The suicide rates haven't gone down. So I guess it ain't that much of the core of the problem. The core problem is young men are being told they are the source of all of the world's problems. That we are the victimizers, and everyone and women and children and everything are our victims. That we're the problem and that we're the reason the world is so bad. When you constantly push that down men's and boys' throats, eventually, the rates are gonna increase. Shocker. So that's why I got pissed. I got pissed realizing that this might be a suicide prevention panel, but it's all delusional. None of it is actually. No one there was interested in having a real conversation about real solutions to real problems. Their solutions came down to, oh hey Pierce, just got home from work. How it goes? We're kind of on a heavy topic at the moment. Admittedly, I'm going a bit further in this topic than I should, but screw it. You know what? We're here. We're talking about it. I guess warnings to everybody. Very adult, serious topic. Apologies if this ruins your night at all. But the real solution to these problems, to male suicide rates, if we're going to make the solutions, we have to acknowledge the problem. And the problem is society is vilifying men. It's making men out to be bad. And if you doubt that for a second, I have one simple reference that should make you realize I'm correct. Remember not too long ago when there was that whole trend online where women were asked the question, would you rather be stuck in the woods with a man or a bear? And despite the fact that any sense of logic and sense would tell you would want to be stuck in the woods with another human being, a man who you can communicate with. Despite that, what were women widely answering? They'd rather be stuck with a bear. And then they would say ridiculous shit like, I can at least reason with the bear. Stuff like that is what causes that rate to go up. So that's why I left the room pissed. It's like no one there had any interest in actually treating the core disease. They just wanted to play around with the symptoms that led to suicide. None of them actually wanted solutions, so I left the fucking room. Now, old white women being allowed to dominate every conversation. I mean, yeah, but that's all that was in the room. That was all the teachers, and it was the lady doing the presentation. It was just me, and like a couple other male custodians who I could tell had the same feelings I did because I looked in their faces. But again, we're the trash collectors. What are we gonna halt the whole presentation and cause everyone to be stuck there an extra hour trying to make our case when all it's gonna lead to is us all getting probably citations? I mean, they can't fire us for something like that, but they can certainly hurt us a little bit. It's not worth it. So I just left the fucking room. Honestly, Jenny, I don't agree with that sentiment. I'd rather be stuck in the woods with a human being than a violent predator. A bear will kill you and rip your guts out in a second, especially if it's hungry. Especially if it's a grizzly bear. It will keep you alive as it rips out your intestines. So again, it's just stuff like that in that pure illogical answers. That again, if you ever wonder why men are offing themselves, answers that women give like that are what lead to that, quite frankly. It's just senselessness. So it's to wrap up a heavy topic. I know I'm going on with here, especially while I'm trying to mini paint and Bant with you guys, but it's stupid. Dumb question. What's the discussion about at the moment? I came in the middle of the conversation. Suicide rates in men being like 6 times higher than women, and it going up year over year. Specifically, I brought it up because today at work I had to participate in this presentation thing, like a suicide prevention panel thing for the school I work for. It was which I was totally down for. Like it totally makes sense to have those kind of conversations with, working around kids and stuff, especially with, kids rates are going up too, sadly. But it led to me getting pissed because they brought up like the gender rates, and then asked the room, why are the rates like this? Why are the rates this bad? And everyone gave bullshit answers that were one of two categories. Either let's cite a mitigating element of the problem rather than the core problem, like beating around the bush, or straight up saying that the reason boys and men are offing themselves so much is because they're not women. Like those being the two prominent answers in the room, knowing that if I brought up the real problem, it would only halt things and cause problems for me personally, I just left the room. I'd rather do pointing a gun at me than a bear any day. The gun will kill me quicker than the bear. That is true, especially if we're talking grizzly bears. But yeah, that's how my day started. As you can probably imagine, wasn't a great start to my day. I left that room fuming. I was just so pissed. I wasted I wasted the entire time we were there. Essentially, it was just like, why was I even in the room? I know. Sorry to drop a heavy topic on you guys like that, but it's just, it sticks with me a little bit. Like normally I don't let that kind of thing bother me too much because I'm normally a pretty stoic guy. That I know I'm saying this about myself, but it's the truth. I try to be a stoic guy, and I generally let dark realities like that kind of brush off me most days, because at the end of the day, there's not much I as an individual can do about it. I just do my best. I paint my minis. I try and be, chill and have a good time. But having me being forced in that room, having that conversation, were you at least being paid to be there? Yes, I was being paid to be there. I honestly, if it was a matter of my boss looked at me and said, "Hey, if you give up an hour or two worth of pay, you don't have to be here," I might have actually done that. I would have been like, "All right, take the pay. I'd rather, it's for me cheap cost of $40, $42, not to be here right now." Trying to hit the hair and not trying to hit the beard. Well, I'm trying to hit the beard, but I'm not trying to hit the skin right. And it's fine as well, at least from my perspective. And that model, or you paint up. I'm assuming Dorn, since the little title stream. Yep, this is Dorn. I green stuffed onto him a beard. I sculpted it on there because the client wanted him to have a beard. And the model normally looks like that in terms of the face, but I added the beard because the client requested it. Plus, admittedly, look, he looks a lot better with a beard. Yeah, the base of the model is pretty much already done right now. Yeah. I just gotta do this trim, and I gotta do some cleanup here on the edges. But outside of that, the base is pretty much done. So I'm now starting to do the actual bits of his model. I'm not sure if I want to what I want to do with his eyes there. I could do a couple things, but both I wish I had something to magnify. because I don't have a magnification glass. Thought the beard was part of it. No, I sculpted that on there with green stuff. It's a little paste putty thing that once it dries, it's as hard as plastic. Honestly, one of the things you like from the if the Emperor had a text-to-speech device series, the Alpha Boost. Yeah. Admittedly, he does look good with what is that beard called? Yeah, whatever. Epoxy paste. Well, there's epoxy paste and then there's green stuff, which I think actually no, they are the same thing, aren't they? Yeah, because green stuff, it's got the yellow and the blue side, and you mix it together, and you rub, you kind of knead it together, and it turns green, hence green stuff, and then it becomes a moldable clay, effectively. So yeah, I sculpted on the beard, so that is custom. That is also why the beard's a little lopsided. I didn't notice that till after I reprimed him, but it still looks good, and it being a little bit lopsided, you can argue that maybe Dorn got a little too, someone got a little too close to Dorn with a chain sword or a power sword and kind of chopped back this side a little bit. So it's not like it's completely out of place. Well, I'm pretty lucky, Vivek. I have my girlfriend. I have a girl. She's pretty awesome. She's probably the first woman in a long time I felt, outside of family, obviously, I felt I could be vulnerable with. And I've been pretty lucky with that. And I hope all my gentlemen out there who may be watching the stream in the future or whatever, or right now, if you're looking for that special lady or special guy, no judging, I hope you find them, and you find someone you are comfortable being vulnerable with. Although, I would hazard, be careful that you are sure that you are with the person you want to be vulnerable with, because sometimes that can backfire. We've all had a crazy ex or two. It's epoxy base, originally named Needetite. Neditite. I don't know which of that. Needetite, I'll say. Apparently, still, I hadn't noticed it was slightly off. It really looked like the beard was original to the model. Thank you. I used a toothpick with the epoxy to knead it into place properly. It took a few minutes. Adding beards to Space Marines based. I'd rather be in the woods with a beard. I think you meant to say bear than a libtard. Fair enough. I would definitely as well rather be with a bear. I could attempt to tame the bear and make it do as I wish. You did such a good job with the beard. It looks like it came out that way. Thank you, Lady Runesong. I appreciate it. Yeah, this is only the second time I've used green stuff too. So I wasn't sure with my confidence on it, but yeah. No, you meant the beard. Oh, okay. Excuse me. All right, so back to a 40k related topic from that heavy one I brought to the fore. Anybody working on any fun army stuff for 40k at the moment? Anything fun going on there? Because after I finish Dorn, I'm going to be hyper-fixating on 2 armies. Well, actually, I'm doing that. I'm having that problem where I have army bloat, where I have a bunch of different armies I want to work on. But the 2 I'm convincing myself to focus on after I finish Dorn here is my World Eaters, which I really want to hammer them out. And I also, I got a belated Christmas gift from my girlfriend. Which I didn't think she would get it when I told her about it, so, oh well, too late now, I guess. But she bought me Adeptus Mechanicus stuff, so I do kind of want to paint that just to at least, do honor to the. By the way, when I told my girlfriend about 40k, and she was like, "Hey, what's stuff that you like that I could buy you for as a Christmas gift?" Because she did this past Christmas, we we hadn't talked a lot about gifts beforehand, and when Christmas Day came, she didn't have much for me, so she felt guilty about it. So she said, "So tell me about this 40K stuff, and I'll get some of that for you." And I went, "Ha, sure you will." I shouldn't have dared her on that because she took that as a personal challenge. Oh Jesus. Let me catch it. I wish I had the talent with paints. I've been practicing on drawing. Hey, good, good, good. I'm sure your drawings look great, man. Everything is about practice. You know. Well, when it comes to like my painting, I've gotten pretty good over the years because of repetition. You know. I got a little dust on that guy. Yeah, I've got years of practice with my models and stuff. Years and years of doing stuff like this, and lots of absurd practice. But when I started, my models looked absolutely fucking ugly. So, you're running out of paper? Do you live near a Staples? Or a, what are they called? Stationery store? Worst case scenario, napkins? You dated a guy, he cheated. Oh, well, he's a bastard then. With your best friend, I gave up on people after that. I'm so sorry, Jenny. Oh, that guy's a bastard. May he step on every Lego that exists. And other bad things that I can't say. Asmogan, would you rather an Imperial Guard or Cornate Berserker? Or Cornate Berserker? In the woods, I'm assuming is the prompt of the question. An Imperial Guard, that way, if I'm being attacked by a Tyranid or something else, I can just trip him and let him get eaten up by it as I run for my life. He's a guardsman anyway. He went there knowing what was going to happen, you know? You start using the color paper for your nieces. I mean, hey, whatever works, man. You have too many armies to get your girlfriend. Or to get a girlfriend, sorry. Maybe I could get one to share the load with. Share the load. But yeah, so I'll show you guys real quick what my girlfriend got me. So, well, namely, I'll show you the freaking price tag on them. So I'm gonna cover up because these labels have like the store logo on it, and I don't want the store to get harassed. So this is the Combat Patrol for the Adeptus Mechanicus. After tax, that's $170. So this is before tax price. So $170 she got for this Combat Patrol. And honestly, now obviously it's a gift from my girlfriend, so I love it regardless. But honestly, I wish there had been better boxes for her to choose from. Because the current Combat Patrol for Adeptus Mechanicus, it's not horrible. You know, it's decent starting units, but they certainly wouldn't have been like my first choice. But generally, I really appreciate the gift, and this will be fun to eventually get to. Probably after my World Eater stuff, to be honest. The other thing she got me, because, you know, she's extra fucking glorious, she also got just a Skitarii set. And that was for, again, after tax, that comes to about $60. So for $60, she got me 10 more Skitarii. So both of those are my Christmas gift for my girlfriend. 19 people and 6 likes. I'm ashamed of y'all. 19 people and only 6 likes? Damn. I didn't know I did y'all that dirty. What to do, fam? What to do? There you go. Okay. So Dorn's hair's all grayed out. I liked it before anything was said. Respect to you, then. Salute. Sorry to hear he was a fruit. I hate it when fruits waste women's time. Yeah. I appreciate it. Thank you, good chat. Miss Start Collecting. I miss Start Collecting too. Thank you, God. Someone else says it. Yes, Start Collecting boxes were glorious. I miss them so fucking much. Start Collecting boxes, I will say it, better than... Start Collecting boxes objectively better than Combat Patrol. Yes, the point values aren't as much of a guarantee with Start Collectings, but it didn't fucking matter because each Start Collecting box felt like a Start Collecting box. Like, it actually got you in the door with decent starter units. That felt like it. Combat Patrols feel like they're taking a random assortment of shit from, like, the army list of a given faction that equate to 500 points and throwing it at the fucking Combat Patrol. I stand by that. Combat Patrols are objectively worse than Start Collecting boxes. They may not be Start Collecting boxes may not have guaranteed you out of the box being able to play with that army for a tournament or whatever, but fuck it. They were still a better starting point than Combat Patrols. I stand fucking by that. The Guard one had a Rust in it? Yes! Thank you! A fucking Lehman... The 3 Lehman Rusts I have are from Start Collecting boxes for the Imperial Guard. Okay? Start Collecting boxes also were cheaper. They were 90 fucking bucks. 90 bucks. Fucking Start Collecting boxes are 170 now. And they don't feel... The models in them are nowhere near as good. Start Collecting boxes should come back at less than $150. They shouldn't. They should come back as $90. Yeah, I said it. Actually, recently, I shared this around some of my Discord communities. I left a comment on a Breakfast with Bando video where they... Actually, this could be a topic of conversation, but focus on the comment specifically before we talk about the topic of that video. I left a comment on it. The basis of the video was like, are YouTubers ruining 40K? Which, as soon as I saw that just made me laugh. It's like, really, after everything GW has done, we're really talking about the blame of YouTubers for why 40K is having issues. Okay. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying YouTubers don't have a negative impact on the space. They absolutely do, especially if we talk about individuals like Bricky, for example. Where they had the positive of introducing a shit ton of normies into the hobby, but that also was the downside of introducing a shit ton of normies and also introducing them in a deceptive way. Not that Bricky lied necessarily, but he made 40K come off differently than it should. Like, he didn't emphasize the grimdark elements enough. He was very memey about it, and additionally with Adeptus Ridiculous and how he's introduced 40K stuff through that, which he's straight up gotten the lore wrong in elements of that, and additionally the memey vibe of it, it's resulting in more and more people coming in with this idea that 40K is just like a clown show, when it is a very serious setting by all accounts. So it's resulted in a lot of collateral issues. So I left a huge fucking comment on Breakfast with Benda's video about it. I didn't even fully finish watching his video when I left the comment, so admittedly some of what I said was mainly just in response to the title, like, are YouTubers ruining 40K? I said no, nowhere near as much as GW are. GW are ruining it far more than any shitter on YouTube is. Like, way more. So I just found it funny that anyone could even attempt to blame YouTubers when GW are price hiking the fuck out of this hobby and unironically, I stand by this. If GW don't cut prices, we all know they're only going to increase. So what I'm saying is literally just a fantasy. But if they don't cut prices, GW is guaranteeing the death of the future, I should say, the death of the future of 40K, because the hobby is in the United States as it stands, and I stand by this, for the common man. Warhammer is an unaffordable hobby. In the current economy of the United States, hopefully it's going to get better, especially with Trump in office. Not here to have a political debate with anybody who doesn't like Trump. I like him, and he's our president, whether you like him or not now, so we all better pray for his success. But regardless of that, hopefully the economy gets better. But as the economy is right this minute, even if you're more well off, you can't really afford to expend money on 40K. When I say well off, I mean like slightly above middle class. If you're rich, obviously like money's no consequence. That's another thing. But if you are a normal person, an average nerd with a normal job, normal 9 to 5, maybe you got an apartment, or worse, or you're in a situation like me where you're stuck with your folks, because shit around you is just too expensive to even feasibly live elsewhere. Buying 40K is absurd to even consider at the moment, because again, combat patrols, $170 a box, 10 Skitarii, which are shitter infantry that die pretty fucking easy. $60 for 10 of them. $60. That's ridiculous. And especially when you think about it like this, these are plastic kits that you have to snip off sprues and assemble yourself and paint yourself. And you do have to paint them to play in tournaments. You do 75% of the work, and they're charging you more than D&D charges for its random assortment of miniatures you can buy at a hobby store for like $2, $3. Granted, most of those you have to paint too, but still. You do 75% of the work, and we're paying $60 for the privilege. So, granted, I've been in 40K for years. I know that's kind of the charm of it. That's the fun of it. But what I'm saying is that's a hard sell for a new person. That's why so many people who could have objectively gotten into this hobby, especially off of the backs of Astartes in secret level. If you ask me, if I were at GW and I was a GW exec, after the success of Astartes, I would have told our marketing team, I put a 50% discount on everything in the store. But sir, put 50% down on everything. What if we run out of stock? Good. Fucking good. I want our warehouse to be empty. You know why? Because we sold everything the fuck in there. Money, money, money. They could have made bank. But what happened? People went from Astartes to going like, oh, I want to look up 40K. They go to the Warhammer store. Oh, it's a miniature war game. And they see like a starting box, $140. Now 170. Yeah, almost all of them went, I'm gonna stick with the fan animation that's free on YouTube. I think I'm gonna go with that. Gone. Potential customer. Even if a one-time customer, even just one time, that is a loss of money. So if there was a whole wasted opportunity. And recently with Secret Level coming out, that was a second, and Space Marine 2, right before that. Double the exposure. They should have 50% off both at that time too. Did they? No. So tens of thousands of miniature boxes went unsold to new customers that had the potential. If even 1% of them had been decided to become repeat customers, that's hundreds of thousands of dollars not taken advantage of. Thank you, God, that they're fucking dumb. Because when I eventually release Warglaive Gothic, I'm actually going to be smart about this shit. I'm not selling a kit of 5 Vanguard Helsings for fucking $60. No, I'm gonna sell them for infinitely less. Because I understand the concept. I understand the basic concept of making something affordable, so people are incentivized to even try it. It's just insane how many customers and potential hobbyists GW has scared off by not only not discounting or dropping permanently the price tag so people could get into this shit and then they could make money by volume. Yes, not by individual sale. That would drop significantly. But you'd make up for it in volume of sale. Like, how so much shit. it's just, oh, great. Sorry, I know I went completely off topic. So with the Breakfast with Banda video, I left a huge video comment, and part of my comment was suggesting that GW half the price of all their shit, and then start partnering up with a Legu or any Cubic to start catering to the 3D printing market. You know, maybe even have a specific 3D printer that is a co-op is a partnered product between any Cubic or a Legu and them, and it's specifically like pre-programmed with a USB with a bunch of unique STLs for 40K, and also with the settings on that printer preset to print those things as best as possible the moment you set up the build plate. Like they would make so much bank if they started selling 3D printing supplies at Warhammer stores, and then again incentivizing the sale of those things with STLs and other things. There's so much they could do to take advantage of that market. And for the people who don't want to go through the effort of running a 3D printer, because you can still take advantage of the market of people that don't want to fuck with that shit, because it is a very technical thing to learn how to use a 3D printer, especially an SLA printer. You can take advantage of that by saying, oh, if you don't want to 3D print them yourselves, guess what? We make them in boxes. You know, you can take advantage of both halves of the market. And if you sell the models cheaper, more people will buy them. Meaning you will get rid of more of them, meaning you will make more money, and meaning you can continue to make more of them, and therefore make more money from them. And all you got to do is fit the bill to keep the plastic injection molding shield machines running, and pay for the plastic beads. That's it. They don't paint them. They don't do anything with them. They just copy and paste the instruction manual, grab them right out of the machine of the sprue, throw it in a box, and sell them. Dear Asmogan, if I had my way with GW, as I will always say, I'd half the price, quadruple the models, and you get per box, and return the game back to what it was in 3rd to 4th edition. Because screw corporatists. I mean, yeah, and I respect that a lot. But even if we take the lens of like corporate, if we take the lens of like a raw capitalist and we just look at profits from the company's perspective, I still think it would be advantageous for them, not just us as a community, but for them, for them in an economic sense, if they halved the prices. Because meanwhile, right now, $170 combat patrol that probably a dozen people have looked at and really wanted to get to try and get into 40K, but they've moved right past it because they saw it was over $170. Which, by the way, is like a replacement tire for your car, or a whole engine part for your car for repairs, or a whole 10th of your rent. People are going to pass on that shit. But if that same box is $70, instead of that $170 box that will sit there for 6 months straight before someone actually has enough money and expendable income to buy that thing, now within a week you might sell 2 or 3 of them if they're just $75. So now you've made that money in a third the time. Yeah, you had to move more of the boxes, but you made it in a third the time. And if you, in that same period of time, you would have taken, let's say, a whole month to 6 months to sell that $170 box, catering to only whales, you could have sold 20, 30, 40 $70 to $75 combat patrol boxes. And that bulk of purchase will have made up for that individual overpriced sale. And if they were more affordable, the 3D printing market wouldn't be as much of an incentivized threat to GW. Ugh, god damn it. The more I think about it, the more absurdly annoying it is. Right, I'm trying to think. Alright, I'm gonna try this, see if this works. Alright. Doing eyeballs. Okay, I'm gonna go off camera a little bit here because I can barely make out the eyeball. Okay, so I definitely hit well past his eye there. This is why I hate doing eyes. I wish I had like a big magnifying glass. Insect dino hybrid. Whoa. Okay. Damn. I would love to have a Necron Lord, but not for that. Not for that money. Yeah. See, example again. We're losing people. We're losing people because it's just too fucking expensive. If you're not making $70,000 a year, GW is not in a month to month affordable thing. It's a yearly a thing you save up for. Oh no, I nicked the back of his ear. Heck. I knew that looked weird. Hey, Avic, welcome to the stream. How you doing, my handsome gentleman? Okay. Do this. Sort of. I hate this brush. You went a bit too hard in the black wash. What? Hey folks, I'm doing alright. Unfortunately scuffed some legionaries, but it's fixable. Well, that's good. As long as it's fixable. Yeah, right now I'm trying to get this black to work. Oh, great. I'm trying to do the pupils. I really hate doing eyes. I love doing lenses on helmets. I hate doing eyes. Eyes are the worst. Yeah, I fucking hate doing them. Like, if I had, like, a bigger canvas to work with, I'd probably feel better about it, but I do not. I have this bad boy. Uh, he's not supposed to be bleeding black from the eyes, so I'm gonna say safely, fuck that up. God, I hate fucking eyes. You know what? I'm gonna paint him white and leave him at that. And hopefully Caboose is okay with that, because I can't fucking do eyes. I hate eyes so damn much. They're, especially on these models, they're virtually impossible to hit. I might try a micron pen, but that's the only feasible way I can think of doing eyes on these models, because it's just too fucking tiny. It's like nothing to work with. God, I hate. Yeah, because lenses are so straightforward. It's so easy to do overlapping colors. It's so easy to do that. You know, that's quick, that's dirty, and they're not as tiny, so the space to fill is much easier to work with. This, I honestly don't see how to do it without a micron pen. I miss Ezra to get a magnifying thing for his birthday. Maybe. Even with a magnifier though, like it's so tiny space. You need a brush with one hair. Well, no, because brush with one hair, the paint on the tip. The problem with these brushes is what you really need is you need a thick brush with a very, 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 very fine point. This is a thin brush with a fine point. This is a thick brush with a decent point, but not a thin enough one for what I'm looking at. And then you have a big one like this, which is a thick brush with a thick tip, which is useless for what I'm trying to do. So yeah, this is the headache with eyeballs. That's why I'm always amazed when I see painters who are able to do eyeballs of any kind, really, because I just don't. My brain doesn't compute with how you fucking do that. Would just a black dot work? Pretty much. That's why a micron pen is more feasible to work with for this. All right. Yep. Just do an edgy shadow on the eyes for tabletop standard. Well, this isn't. Well, I don't know if you guys have read the title. This is not my mini. This is a commission. I've been hired to do this by a buddy of mine, so I'm trying to do him a model justice. I think I have Micron pen somewhere. I'm trying to think. You managed to paint blue eyes on a Gondor warrior by sheer luck. Well, hold on to that luck, because I wish I had that much luck. This is just drawing, but I kind of prefer Faber Castell pens to Micron. Yeah, I don't know about those and how those would apply to a miniature. I am talking about miniature specific with the use of a Micron pen. Right, there we go. Well, just trying to clean up around the eye. Worked in a Michaels for about a year. A Michaels? Yeah. I never worked at a Michaels. Never had the pleasure. I don't know if it's a pleasure or not, based on the stories I've heard. Probably isn't. Alright, good enough. Alright, I am real quick going to go hunt for a pin. You know what? Just for the teehees, I'm just gonna throw that out there. I don't think just for the teehees. Because I'm just curious how these function. Goal created. All right, so I put up a huge donation goal, guys. You guys need to super chat one time, and I will roll my Black Templar die. Don't donate if you actually don't need it. Just want to fuck with it. All right, I'll be right back with it for a micron pen. That way I can get that fucking eyeball. I think I know where if I don't recall correctly, it's gonna be a pain in the ass. Okay, good news. I have my micron pens. Oh yeah. Oh, that jumped me. Oh, that scared me. We didn't scuff any damages, did we? Why'd you guys even get knocked over? How do I even... Okay, well, good news is there's no damage. Thank you, Carly. Sorry, I just knocked over my tray with all the bits. Okay, so I need the thinnest point I can conjure from these. I don't know. I can't remember which of these is thinner. That one's definitely thinner. So we're going to use this one. Micron pen. Hey, pen. The other guy, thank you so much for the $2 dues. We hit the goal. Woo! Hit the goal, folks. We hit the damn goal. All right, you know what that means? You know what that means? We're gonna roll the die. If I can get it on camera. Yeah, I can't fucking get shit on camera. Fuck it, let's zoom out. I'm cheating the system. All right, we're gonna roll the die. We got a 3. So that means next time we hit our goal, I gotta roll 3 more die. How about that? Every time I hit a goal, we're gonna roll to see how many die I have to roll. Okay. Awesome. Restart another goal. There we go. You guys seriously don't have to. It is fun to fuck with, but it's again just in concept it's kind of silly. All right, micron pen. I'll keep this one just in case. So you hit the target, but do you wound? Good point. Do I wound? No. I do not. Actually, where? I remember where I put that die. Where did I put the rest of my die? I got the die. By the way, do you know how funny it was to go to my last tournament? I'm an orc player, but I went with black and white Black Templar die. Okay, where we are. Alright, so now we're going to use the Micron pen. If it hits off the table, it's a miss. Yeah. Alright. No. No. Oh my god. Dude, that... I don't know if that looks good or bad. Every time I look at it, it's... Something about that just looks funny to me. It looks passable, yeah, that's true, but it's just... It's kind of derpy almost. It could be the angle, that's why it's probably derpy to me, but... Being a drama queen right now. Oh, sorry to hear about that. Okay. I'm gonna send a picture of that to Caboose and be like, alright, do you want me to leave that? Or do you want me to just paint his eyes a generic color? Because that looks off. Undeniably. Yeah, that it looks okay. It's just, it's weird. I'm trying to make slight adjustments here. Once that fully dries, I'm gonna hit it with another flesh tone and see how it blends. Actually, I might hit the eyes with something else, but I don't know. Now that I'm looking at it proper, the actual eyes don't actually look that bad. I am gonna. Yeah, they don't look bad. They just feel a little off. That's all. You messing with a laser pointer? Oh, the cat's greatest weakness. And now to apply the eyebrows. And how's that look? Be honest, if it looks ugly or not, by the way. I don't know. At the distance I'm at, it's okay. But on screen with that close-up, I don't know. On screen, it looks a little worse. I think it looks fine. Yeah, I'm trying to do better than fine, though. So Little Wolf wants to punch him. Fair enough. We've all had those days, you know? Looks good now. Alright. I'm gonna go by you guys being honest, saying it looks okay, so I mean, at a distance, he's also going to look a lot better, admittedly. Admittedly, my problem is the close-up. Like, the close-up shot of the eyes. At a distance, he actually looks pretty good. Like, it's that close-up. That something about the close-up feels like a little uncanny valley or something like that. But no, like, yeah. I guess he passes muster. Alright, note to self. Micron pens. The cheat code to eyeballs. Alright, so now I just gotta do white highlights on his... Or whiter highlights, I should say. On the beard. Oh wait, shoot. Before I do that, I need to apply the Nuln Oil. Well, no, actually, if I apply the white highlights first and then the Nuln Oil, I think it'll blend in better. Probably grumpy looking expression. True. He is very appropriately Dorn. Alright. Alright, so now let me apply the Nuln Oil. I put it? Contrast Black Templar. Oh no. I gotta be delicate with how much of this I use, especially around the skin tone. Alright, how do you guys think? Yeah, just as it looks fine, he has a properly grumpy looking expression like Mortarian farted. Yeah, I think the head's all good. I'll send pictures to Caboose to confirm. He may want me to knock out those eyes, but outside of that, I'm satisfied with the head. Might do a couple of highlights on the cheeks and stuff, but outside of that, I'm pretty satisfied. Right. Dorn, and on camera he looks a little bit more tan, but actually he's matching my skin tone pretty closely. But yeah, like I said, I'm gonna do some more highlights on the face. Let me do those right now. A little bit better. Right. Alright, so Dorn's head is, I'm going to say, pretty much done. I'll make adjustments based on how Caboose wants him to look closer to, but otherwise, like, in terms of my own satisfaction, I think he looks pretty good. Yeah. Hold on. There you go. All right, making headway, making headway. Huh? Get it? Get it? Get it? Yeah. Why'd my subscriber count drop to 0? We're making some headway. By the way, make sure Dorn, am the one saying this, by the way, not Asmogan. Make sure to like and subscribe. Support the channel. Yes. Look into my eyes. Look into them. You will like, support the channel. For the Emperor. For the Imperium of Man. Sorry, I'm still 5 on the inside. Alright. I always prefer doing helmets. It's just, lenses are so much fucking easier. Just so much easier to do. Alright. So, I don't think I have time to do anything else tonight in depth. So, that is going to be it for today's stream, guys. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. So much for being awesome. Thank you to Gilly Guy for donating earlier. I appreciate it. Yeah. I'm going to try and do another one of these relatively soon, but I'm also desperately trying to get the next Voxwork episode done, so that hopefully will be done first. But I'll see you guys again relatively soon. You all take care. Have a great night. I'll catch you all later. Bye-bye.